Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. We off the record. We off the record. Oh, we here, we live.
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
What's going on? Hold on. Let me get my air horns, man. Excuse me. Thank you, man. Thank you. What's good, man?
Nothing, man. Trying to figure everything out, man. I see you started like a watch party. I was trying to start a watch party. So while the intro was going on, you know, I'm not the most technology savvy person. I pressed it and it was going like I could hear the music and it was going at the same time. So I'll just do what I normally do after the show. Go ahead and start a watch party.
Yeah, we're gonna have a tutorial. We're gonna have a Scotty B tutorial about how to set up a watch party.
You know,
offline, not during the show. Not during the show.
You know, I am trying to become more active with social media. I am making a assertive effort. If you would have told me 6 months from that, 6 months ago, that I would have started a watch party on Facebook, I'd have laughed at you. So baby steps. How was your week, bro?
It's been good. It's been good. You know, we working, watching sports, and trying to maintain life. So, okay. but how was yours?
Mine was good, man. Sunday started off phenomenally. I had a battle. Yeah, I had a battle.
Sunday. I don't even. It's more of a blur. I honestly, I don't even remember what happened.
Right. I had a battle against you.
Oh,
yeah, came out victorious.
You know what's crazy? I kind of like blocked that joint out of my mind because I felt like I was robbed. But
elaborate.
Oh, come on, Scott. No. So I feel like it was a really good battle. It literally came down to the very last vote of 5 voters. It came down to the very last vote, and it was a little weird. But the judging was a little. It was good though. It was a good battle.
I can't complain about the judging because I won. I will say this. I think because I was an underdog, that helped. I think expectations for me was really low, and I came out swinging. And I think that helped.
I think that you were right. I think that because you were the underdog, that there were songs that I played that I felt was better than your song. But again, I was a competitor, not a judge, and looking at your face when I played the songs, it looked like you was like, oh, he got this one too. And then when you won around your face, you was like, well, it was like, I get it though. I get it. You see my platinum plaque up there though. I'm still I don't even know what that is. It's just a picture.
Nah, so here's, and I gave this a lot of thought. Mm-hmm. I think when you're in the battle, whatever song that you play, you're going to think is better than the other person. I think what shocked me about you was you showed me some of your range that I didn't know that you had. Mm-hmm. So I tried to take the battle in different places and test you and push you a little bit, and you were able to adapt. So, like I said, I'm going to gloat because I do respect I respect your music knowledge, and I respect, if there's a mixtape, there's a new artist, there's a new song. Everybody knows this. And so for me to beat you, I felt ecstatic. You got to think, right?
I'm listening.
So I beat you, and I beat Earn.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's two huge victories.
Yeah, but I get it. I see what you're saying.
I mean that's huge for me. For somebody
I
that
do have an announcement though. I do have an announcement.
what's that?
It has been confirmed. It has been confirmed that in 2 weeks I get my part 2 versus against Marcus.
Okay.
So in 2 weeks we got part 2 coming up of the R&B. That's one that's gonna be an R&B battle, and it should be fun. It's gonna be fun.
The one this weekend is gonna be fun. The one this weekend is gonna be fun with Shantina and Charles. It's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be fun. Look at this. Look at this. See, it would be a Smith to say this. So I'm like, look at this. Now he needs to retire. No, he don't. No, he don't. He don't need to retire.
For me, I am going to retire.
Nah, you're not retired. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I'm done. I'm two and done.
It don't work that way, sir. It doesn't work. I'm sorry. It's like MMA. You keep on going. It's like a round robin.
I know it's a lot of people that want parts of me, pause, but hey, yeah, they have to wait. But anyway,
yeah. So real quick before we get to sports, I guess we're gonna transition. So Kanye West, since we was on music, right? Let's
right.
Kanye West I believe it was last week stated he was gonna run for president, right? And so I have some thoughts about that. And I'm sure you heard about it.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
What are your thoughts?
So I was advised by my inner circle to tread lightly on this issue, because if we get any bigger, these comments could come back to haunt me.
Right.
With Kanye West, man, I just don't know, man. He says a lot of stuff for shock value.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's been pretty consistent over the years with that. So I can't take somebody seriously that wakes up one day and says, I want to be the president. And you don't take the proper steps in making that happen. Just something as small as just making sure that you're registered on the ballot. You know what I mean? You missed the deadlines in a lot of the states.
About, I think, like 5 or 6 states.
No, it's like 17. He'll lose 170 electoral votes alone.
So here's my take. Here's my take on that. I don't think that mattered. Like him missing the states. What I think is he has an album coming out, and I wouldn't be surprised if the name of his album is called 2020 President. I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I think that he himself is he's not really running. I'm telling you that now. And we're gonna have a little fun with it because I don't think he's running. If he was gonna run, he would have said something months ago. He said something 4 years ago, and we were like, yeah, whatever. We didn't care, and we still don't care. But I felt like it was pretty interesting and funny, and I feel like he's gonna have album coming out. And I'll tell you this, Kanye West does still put out good music. I think that he is, as far as like with music, he still knows what he's doing musically. I just think there's a few screws loose. And I mean, it is what it is.
So I agree with you. It is a shock value thing. Mm-hmm. But the other side of it too is Donald Trump got everybody out here thinking they could be the president. No, really.
He can't even be the president. How does he have people thinking they could be the president?
I mean, it's absurd that Kanye West thinks he could be the president. Could you imagine? I mean, it would be sort of similar. It'd be sort of similar to Donald Trump.
Yeah, how much worse can it get? He might do a better job than Trump.
Possibly, but could you imagine?
Ain't that hard. It's not that difficult.
Could you imagine a man trying to debate somebody? I mean, we've seen some arguments, or I don't know, man. It'd be a mess too. But I mean, like you said, it can't be too much worse than what we got going on right now. Right. So
yeah, so I just thought that was funny. So you want to start with football, Patrick Mahomes?
Let's go there,
Patrick. Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year, $503 million contract. 503 being the incentives after all the incentives and things of that nature. I think the signing bonus was 147, I believe. And he has a ton of good stuff in there with an injury clause, a no trade clause. I'm almost certain that for the next 10 years, they're going to throw him birthday parties. Pretty much whatever he wants is in that contract, and I kind of like it. So how you feel about that, John, man?
I think it was a good deal for both sides. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say it's a bad deal because it's record breaking. Yeah, I mean, nobody's getting that much money and nobody's got a contract like that. Mm-hmm. But if you look at like where the NFL is going, a lot of people forget the salary cap is going to increase as the years go on. $45 million may seem like a lot now, but 10 years from now, that may be an average pay for a quarterback, just depending on like the gambling revenues that they're about to start getting, the TV rights. If you look at even the salary cap from 2011, it's went up 60%.
Right.
And that's over a 9-year span. So I think the Chiefs were smart and they got ahead of it. They recognize that, okay, we have our franchise quarterback. There's also clauses to where they can get out of it. They'll take a cap hit for a couple of years, but it doesn't guarantee all the money over a 10-year span, and it's backloaded too. So if they ever decide like, okay, we're going to cut them, then
so I think there are clauses in that's preventing him from being cut.
No, he could be cut. It's just what it is he gets incentive for 2 years. So each year it locks in the next 2 years. So pretty much if the average is $45 million a year, he's locked in for guaranteed like $70 million like each year. So what they could do is they could cut him, and so it's like different parts of his contract. He's got the roster bonus, it's like some incentives for starting. It's some cash bonuses, and it's broke down a lot of different ways to where if they cut him, then they would just only have to pay him for the next 2 years.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna be cheap. That's not gonna be cheap.
Oh no, he's gonna get paid. Yeah. But ways that they can actually get out of it. And it's actually 12 years.
Yeah, because it's a 10-year extension. Yeah. So I've been thinking about this and what it does for the quarterback market, because we know that in I think 4 years the new TV money is coming, or 5 years the new TV money is coming, and then you have guys like Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, and even Dak Prescott that are going to get new deals in this time. I feel like I'm forgetting another younger quarterback, but those three right there are going to get new deals. And I think with Mahomes' contract, it kind of hurts and helps both sides. Let's use Dak Prescott, for instance, right? He has until next Wednesday to get a long-term deal, or he's going to have to play out the franchise contract. So I think where it like helps him is like, well, if I don't sign this and you franchise me next year, he's gonna that ups his average of how much he will make. So he'll end up making around $37-38 million for that 1 year if they choose to franchise him again, which actually be he'll make more over those 2 years than anybody else, even Mahomes, over those 2 years, and then he'll get paid whatever after, especially if he continues to win. Where it hurts is, I hope you're not looking at getting a 10-year deal for even $400 million. You're not getting a $400 million contract. You're not, so it's gonna hurt him where his length of contract and the total amount. But I still think he has the leverage in Dak's case.
I'll take it a step further. The Chiefs are rewarding somebody that's a Super Bowl MVP, MVP, and a Super Bowl champion. So like when you and you look at like his production over the last couple of years, I mean, it's been insane.
Right.
So if I'm a team like Dak Prescott or the Cowboys, and I'm looking at them, I'm looking at him, I'm like, well, this is where this guy is performing. You're not quite there, so I could lowball you a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like I think he set the standard to where, okay, if you've done X, Y, and Z, this is how you're going to get paid.
Well, I don't agree there because it ain't too many Andy Reids in the league. I think Andy Reid is in the upper echelon of coaches. If you don't think so, Andy Reid has been successful, and for instance, look at Donovan McNabb, right? You can say what you want about Donovan when he left. When he left, you can say, "Oh, he was old," but we've seen old quarterbacks produce. We've seen Brett Favre older than Donovan McNabb after he left Philly. We've seen Brett Favre. We've seen Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady was in the same system. We've seen Drew Brees. We've seen a number of older quarterbacks succeed. Andy Reid has won with substandard quarterbacks.
See, I'm not questioning why he got a 10-year deal. I think it's smart. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
And if you look at over time, a lot of people are like, oh, it's a 10-year deal. I mean, you had people like Dante Culpepper had a 10-year deal. I think Brett Favre had a 10-year deal. Drew Bledsoe had a 10-year deal. And it's been a couple other I think Donovan McNabb even had a 10-year deal at one point. So it's been
it wasn't $500 million.
It wasn't $500 million.
It
wasn't close, but it's been other quarterbacks out there that had 10-year deals.
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, when you look at what's around him, like, he has weapons galore. Do we agree there?
Who? Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got weapons.
Yeah, he has weapons galore. But that, not taking away from his talent, because I think that if you put another quarterback in that system, there's no guarantee that they're going to do what he does. I mean, he hasn't had a double-digit loss since he's been a starter.
So I look at Patrick Mahomes kind of on the level of, I can't believe I say this. So just bear with me for this. He's kind of at the level of like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in the sense that you can almost put anybody around him and he's going to make them better. You know what I mean? Like, he's got weapons, but like you said, Sue, I think we've seen enough to where we're like, you know what? He can make receivers better, or he can make a running back better just off of his talent alone. So, yeah, I wouldn't be as
he's a generational talent. He's a generational
talent.
Absolutely. You're not gonna get too many Patrick Mahomes, but if I'm not mistaken, he was in the same draft as Trubisky. Boy, how do the Bears look right now?
So I think Mitch Trubisky is got a rough shake. I don't think he's as bad as people think he is.
I don't.
No, I think he'll be all right. I think he.
You think he'll start the season and finish?
I would start him. I don't know if I've never been sold on Nick Foles. I know he's won like a Super Bowl, but Nick Foles has up and down years. Like he's to me, he's that guy. He's the perfect backup. You know what I mean? He's somebody that can come in and get the job done. But when you give him that starting job and you give him from the beginning of training camp, he's your guy. He didn't have good seasons.
So, all right. I guess one last thing for this Mahomes thing. One thing I do like about it, at least from what I read, is that it's team friendly, where they can still address the defense. They can still address, pieces on the offense, because if you want to start a dynasty, you're gonna have to be able to, re-up and keep these guys and get new talent. So that's one thing I do like about his contract. So all week we heard about the Redskins. having to change their name, and I think we talked about it, and it's gaining more ground, it's gaining more, it's picking up steam, and Amazon done took Redskins stuff off their website. Nike's taking their stuff off their website. FedEx has said something. So I believe it's going to happen. Will it happen before the season starts? I don't know. But I think before the 2021 season, it's definitely going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. They're starting to hit his pocket.
Yeah.
That was the thing before, is they weren't hitting his pocket. So now he just looks dumb for not even changing it. I mean, the last report I heard, some of the minority owners, they want to sell.
I saw like 40% of those minority. Yeah.
It's a bad look all the way around. So his hand is going to be forced. He's going to end up changing it.
And do you think he's going to sell the team?
I don't think he'll sell the team. You think he'll sell it?
I was thinking about it. I don't know if he really will, but I'm starting to think that somebody like the minority owners and some of the business partners that they have, like FedEx, they may not just like him as an owner, and he may eventually get pressure behind the scenes to sell the team, and he may just say, I'm out of here. I have the money that I've made. I've been a billionaire for however so long. So I think he may. I just think that's an idea that he may sell the team, and he may, but the name's going to change. And so I did put up a post on what the names, what could the names be changed to? Because I personally think that the name is going to change and the colors.
So, all right. So he bought the trademark, I want to say, for the Warriors a couple years back, and they said like something like he was going to have like an arena football league. So he does own like the Warrior name. So he could change it to that. But the question I have for you is, do you think Dan Snyder is the worst owner in football? Or
in football? In football. There's not many worse than him. Yes.
The guy from the Jets, though, Woody, what's his name? Woody, I can't even think of his name. He's pretty bad too.
Yeah, but I said this, in the last 10 years, the Jets have been more successful than the Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been in AFC championships. They've competed. I can't be mad at them. They got a black head coach. They got no, they don't. They fired him. They don't have a black head coach. I forgot. They got a high head coach. My bad. So he's gonna get fired. By the way,
he should have never got the job.
He never got the job. So you're right. But no, I think Dan Snyder is the worst. He's the worst coach in the NFL. I mean, worst owner in the NFL. And when you start talking about in the four major sports, he's probably in the top three.
Who's your top five in all the major sports?
Oh, damn, Scott, you should have gave me a heads up in this. But if I have to say a top five, you have Dan in no order.
Yeah.
You have Snyder. Dolan. There's some bad ones in. I'm gonna add now the Atlanta Dream owner.
Okay.
That's three right there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let the people decide the other two, but those are some bad ones. I think that Dolan's gonna be forced out, and maybe Snyder.
This might be a little bit blasphemy, but I was thinking Jordan might be around the top 15.
I ain't going there,
man. Take away his
playing days
and just as an owner.
Man,
Take away his shoe. Take away his shoe. Just evaluate him on ownership.
You know what?
Easily,
I mean, he's barely made the playoffs. He's been an owner for over a decade now, right?
Oh, he's been an owner for a while.
It's been a while, and I mean, he barely makes the playoffs. Now the Hornets did make the playoffs. Was it last year or 2 years ago? But I mean, they were swept. So I don't know, man. Yeah.
And think about
he's up there. Yeah, he's there. He's there.
Think about how many draft picks he's missed out on.
Yep. Yeah, Jordan's up there. Yeah, Jordan's up there. I mean, he drafted Kwame Brown. He drafted what's the old boy from Gonzaga?
Morrison.
Adam Morrison. Yeah, he got some bad picks, man. Jesus. Didn't he give Nick Batum a whole ton of money?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so yeah.
He's not top 5.
He might be top 5, Scotty. He might be top 5.
I don't know if he runs in top 5. He may not even make top 10.
So I say this: he may not be good. He may not be good with the picks, but I will say he doesn't misrun an organization as far as like financially, and as far as putting his organization in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? Like the Redskins are in a bad light. You know, I just think people don't really care about Charlotte, like as far as like sports wise. Charlotte is a great city, and I think the Panthers' new owner, I think he's a great owner. I think he does some good things, but it's not a big market, so they kind of get looked over. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how bad they are, nobody really cares. And the only reason why we talk about the Hornets is because Jordan owns them.
I'm trying to think of his name. I think his name is Mike Brown, Cincinnati Bengals owner.
Yes.
He's up there too.
I think he's cheap.
Beyond cheap.
Huh?
Beyond cheap.
Yeah, he's just cheap. So I don't know. I guess. Yeah. So I mean, but back to the Redskins, I think that it's a long time coming. This is not a new conversation. It's a conversation that they was having this conversation when we were in school, you know. So
they've had it as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Conversation.
It's been a long time coming, and yeah, man. So you want to get to the winner of the week?
We can go into it.
Oh boy, this should be good.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, yo. So my winner of the week is Kelly Loeffler. If you haven't heard, she's the minority owner in the WNBA for the Atlanta Dream. And the reason why she's my winner of the week this week is she wrote a letter to the commissioner of the WNBA talking about she didn't think that the WNBA aligns with the Black Lives Matter movement. And throughout that letter, you know, she had a whole bunch of just misrepresentation or just things that weren't true about the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was just absurd that she would send a letter of that in this day and age. I feel sorry for the Atlanta Dream players that have to play for that organization. I know a lot of WNBA players that spoke out that she's a little bit Donald Sterling-ish. So it's just unfortunate that she's also a senator in Georgia, has nothing to do with the day-to-day operations. I just thought, man, it was just a terrible story overall, man. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that anyone who's misguided, you know, they need to like open books. Yeah, I mean, you have Google, you have all these things, and I think that she's misinformed. One of those people that I was talking about last week that are stuck in their ways. and so she's stuck in her ways, which is not an excuse. But when you have a league which is almost 70% black, then you should be more sensitive to how they feel, and especially in this climate and with everything going on, you should be a little bit more sensitive to that. And I don't think she understands what the Black Lives movement is about, or what they represent and things of that nature. So, she definitely deserved, being called out. And if they force her to sell the team or sell her stake, no one's gonna miss her. And I think she should. I do. I just think she should. We actually interviewed, I don't know, yeah, you should remember, we interviewed Imani Stafford McGee a couple years ago, and at that time she played for the Atlanta Dream. I'm interested to see her feelings on this. I know she's not with the organization anymore, but I wonder what, just what we've seen some of the ladies speak out, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So she's been catching a lot of just coverage. She had went on Fox Sports. I mean, not Fox Sports, but Fox News in June, and she was talking about the protesters and talking about how pretty much they were unruly and pretty much we need to get everything under control. She has said some very irresponsible comments about, like, part of the Black Lives Matter movement is to remove all the white Jesuses from the churches and replace them with black Jesuses. It's crazy when you just read a lot of this stuff and you're like, this is how this person thinks, and this person's owner. Nobody should be supporting this team.
Right.
They pretty much, it does sound Donald Sterling-ish. So I just, that's why it was a tough week as far as, like,
you should throw Terry Crews in there too.
Huh?
I said Terry Crews deserves. It's almost like he's against black people.
You got him, Deshaun Jackson. That was stupid.
We'll get into that next. Well, eventually today.
Well, go ahead, let's talk about it, man.
All right, so Deshaun Jackson. How you say the word? Anti-Semitic.
I didn't even want to try it.
Yeah, whatever. So he pretty much retweeted a quote from Hitler, and at that point, everything stops. Everything stops. It doesn't matter what your message is. It doesn't matter anything. Someone sees a quote trying to give Hitler props, you lost. The argument is over. The argument is over. So, and he apologized multiple times, which he should have. And Steven Jackson came to his defense, but then Steven Jackson had to go back, and he pretty much said that Deshaun Jackson was wrong. Now, when I heard what Deshaun Jackson was trying to say, yes, it made sense, but not with that quote or retweet or whatever. And ultimately he was what after he explained it, he said he was trying to say black people should, if black people stay together, we can take over the world ultimately. And that's not what that didn't say that.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it was just like, and I don't think he should be canceled. He apologized. And I saw people saying the Eagles should cut him. And if the Eagles cut him, I tell you what, they're going to lose a lot of fans. They're going to lose a lot of fans because they set a precedent when you had, what's his name?
Riley Cooper.
Huh?
Riley Cooper. And he was saying the N-word, whatever. So, and he got a slap. I think he got suspended from camp. He didn't. And if I'm not, wasn't Deshaun Jackson on that team? Because Michael Vick was there. Deshaun Jackson. Jeremy Macklin was there.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson was on that, and Michael Vick was the one that had Riley Cooper's back. I would like to hear from Michael Vick now. in regards to Deshaun Jackson. I mean, he's a sports head, and he's on Fox Sports and things of that nature. I would like to hear from him and what his thoughts are on Deshaun Jackson. I would like to hear a lot of people's thoughts. We know that Deshaun Jackson wasn't right, but should he be canceled? Should he be cut or any of those things? Those are the things where it's like, we need to have a talk.
Well, I like what I think it was Julian Edelman said. He wanted to meet up with Deshaun Jackson and talk. And he wanted to take him to like a Holocaust museum, and then he was going to go to like the African American museum, and he said like he could teach him about our history, and he could teach him about Jewish history. I think he should take him up on that offer.
I agree. And what would it hurt? What would it hurt? I mean, and then you kind of get to see things from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I just Deshaun Jackson, he picked a bad week. Well, actually, I think it might have been a good week for him to do this because all this other stuff that was happening with the Redskins, with the Dreams owner, even with Trump supporting the Indian names and they shouldn't change their names and things of that nature. I don't really want to talk about Trump unless you do. I'm good on him because clowns gonna do what clowns do. You know what I'm saying? So we could just mosey on with that. But in regards to Deshaun Jackson, if I had to tell him anything, take Julian Edelman up on that offer.
Absolutely.
I agree with you on that one. Take him up on that offer and do it. I mean, so last week we had President Abdullah on last week, and that was a great interview. And one of the questions that I asked him was, would there be homecoming this year? Well, not only will there not be homecoming, there won't be any fall sports for the CIAA and the Ivy League. I'm fearful that it's about to be across the board.
Oh, well, question. I wouldn't even say fearful. I would say that it's going to happen. And I've been waiting to remind you of this because I've been telling you that until there's a vaccination or vaccine for this, it doesn't matter how many tests there are. All is proven is how contagious COVID is.
But Scott, I think my point is good too because I said with more tests, because the numbers have spiked, but what hasn't spiked are the deaths. I think the deaths are they've plateaued. I don't even think you don't even see as many deaths that you saw even a month ago.
Yeah, but the potential is there. And what you're starting to notice too is that there's no way to really play football.
NFL is going to have a season.
No, but hold on, hear me out.
Okay.
So the experts will tell you that you got to wear a mask, right?
Right.
That I mean, it helps, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't wear a mask playing football. Then you get into the point that social distancing. So they say like social distancing helps. There's no way to social distance playing football or even working out or even doing any of that sort of stuff. And then washing your hands. Like you got to continuously wash your hands. You can't do that playing football. So, I mean, you look at what we know that works to limit the passing of COVID. Mm-hmm. And then you start to look at sports and you're like, this is bad. Did you hear about what happened with Major League Baseball? The players coming back from the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. And, oh, man, pretty much like it was 160 people on the plane. I don't know the exact number of how many people caught COVID, but they weren't testing in Dominican Republic because of the lack of testing over there, and they didn't want to take it from they didn't want to take tests from people that might have needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got back, they all got tested. And I mean, it was a lot of people. I got to look up how many people it was, but that's just an example of sports ain't trending in the right way. Not until we can figure out how to cure this or how to prevent people from getting it. It's not happening, bro.
So I'll say this, and because NFL had some guidelines, which. So here's the thing. If, let's just say, I'm just saying, if one team, everyone's tested, the staff, everybody's tested, let's just say, and everybody came back there, they don't have COVID. Then you have the other team, everybody came back, nobody has COVID, right? There's no fans, or the fans are, distant, maybe in the nosebleeds, whatever. I would say no fans, right? How can somebody get COVID if they don't have it?
I agree with you there, but all right, so there's nothing wrong with that, right? So if you got 100 people that don't have it against another 100 people that don't have it, then fine. It's when you leave the game where you're going and who you get exposed to.
Right.
And that's the risk, is that if so right now, most people that are working, right, their job has them isolated. You know what I mean? To the point to where, they're practicing social distancing. They may be working at home. They be just whatever they got to do to make sure they don't pass it to other people.
Right.
In a football team, that's unrealistic. In sports, that's unrealistic. You can't play sports by not being next to a person. You can't practice. You can't work out. Look at what's happening in all the facilities just alone. And these guys are social distancing when they're working out in the facilities, but a lot of the colleges are still having to shut down these facilities because they can't even control it.
Right.
So I think the first thing that we got to look at is when we can get the schools back safe to where people can return back to the schools.
Right.
Then we can start looking at the athletics.
And you're talking about college.
I'm talking about college. I
agree. And I think if you don't have kids on campus, you shouldn't have. And I'm not, necessarily have to have fans in the stands, but if you don't have kids going to classes and things of that nature, then yeah, I mean, it's inevitable that you're not gonna have any sports. Now, moving into spring, I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's even worse idea, and mainly because if I'm a prospect, even if you tell me I'm gonna get picked in the 7th round, right? 6th, 7th round, that's my projection. I'm not playing in the spring. I'm not playing in the spring because a lot of that time is used to prepare for the combine. A lot of that time is used to prepare to be in the league. So no, I'm not gonna play in April, March, April, May, to get drafted, to hopefully get drafted whenever, the draft is normally in April. So you will have to ask the NFL to move their draft back, which we've seen the NFL is not willing to really move their offseason program. They have a strict offseason schedule, and they're not trying to move it. So if let's just say they do move it to June, the NFL season is right around the corner. I just think that's a bad idea. I don't think it's safe.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think we're going to see it. I think they're about to cancel all the fall sports. We're starting to see, the Big Ten. They came out and said no non-conference games. The ACC, they're expected. I think they've already put it out there. You'll start to see the other conferences. I think the NFL, no matter what, because of the money that's at stake, they're going to try to do it. And I think
it's a lot of money. That's why you have the Power 5 schools. They're not willing to say, we're canceling the season because so much money. Remember when we had Tiff up here, and she said Dartmouth they were like the if you could even say it, the poorest school in the Ivy League. So they have back money beyond, and I'm sure the Power Five schools do as well. But they're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars if they don't have a football season. Cross country, sorry, you guys are athletes. They're paying for your schooling. Sorry, but that doesn't really affect the bottom line. You know what I'm saying?
So I was listening to something today. I can't think of the guy's name. He used to play for the Colts. He was like a Pro Bowler. Him and his wife, they started like a group. It's all like college parents, pretty much. What they want to know is the health and safety of the children.
Right.
So a lot of schools may say, okay, yeah, we're going to try. But there's a lot of parents out there that are like, nah, man, my son or daughter is not playing. It's not safe for them. And so you just look at it from that angle to where it's like, okay, these coaches, they can try to lure the kids in there, but some of these parents are going to end up stepping in like, nah, it's not safe. I don't feel comfortable because nobody has came up with, and I don't even know if it's even an idea out there of a safe way to do this and keep everybody safe. It doesn't seem possible to me.
All right. I mean, I did read an article. I forget the doctor's name, and I'll post it on my Facebook. But they were saying that asymptomatic people can't pass on the virus. Don't know how true it is. I ain't a doctor. I didn't do it. I just read the article. And I see. So I mean, I think a lot of people are waiting to see how this NBA bubble really plays out because TBT they've been on what about 4 days now, 3-4 since Saturday. So they've been on almost a week, and you haven't heard of any. You haven't heard of any team, anyone contracting corona. And then, I mean, they have it strict. Like these guys are taking all their things with them after every game, and if they lose, they leave. They don't even go back to the hotel. It's an idea in this situation. It seems to work. I think a lot of people are waiting to see what happens with MLS, what happens with WNBA, and what happens with the NBA. Mainly the NBA.
So the NBA has a good structure in place.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be all about execution. I don't think the players are going to stick to the rules of staying in the bubble. I think it's very difficult to give up your freedoms and what you're accustomed to. And I think you're going to see a lot of players. Well, I wouldn't even say a lot of players. You'll see some players that are going to push the limits and break the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's going to end up hindering the NBA because it'll be tough to keep all those players just in that bubble the whole time. Because you're talking about grown men. I think me and you talked about it last week, just mentally, what that's going to do for you to be away from your family. Everybody's not built like that.
Right.
And you're going to see a lot of athletes crumble. I mean, it's tough. So I breaking the rules.
Yeah. I guess we could. It was some questions that we had during, So here goes one. You see, do y'all think the American Negro are the real Jews? That's a good question.
It's a real good question. I'll let you go first with that.
If he means by sticking together, then yeah, potentially yeah. I mean, because we've seen that when we've seen the power of the black dollar. We've seen it just with, and this may sound crazy, even with Popeye's chicken sandwich. It was mostly black people getting those Popeye's chicken sandwiches, and we made them stop serving the sandwich because they didn't have any more. You know what I'm saying? Then you have just with with everything, all the things that's been changing, with the protests, with the changing of some laws, and policies. We've seen policies change. So are the American Negro the real Jews? I hate saying that question. It seems like but with what he's trying to say, yes, they have the potential to be, if they stick together, to control a lot of things that run the world.
Okay, so it's funny how me and you could read the same question
And interpret it differently.
Two different interpretations of the question. It's crazy. So this is the way I interpret it.
Okay.
Question. He meant, do they treat black people in America like Jews, like equivalent to like the Holocaust? That's how I interpret it.
Okay.
I think that we are. I think on a milder version, I think it's really tough to duplicate what happened in Germany for any culture. I can't say that definitively that like that's happened. But I will say that it made me think. It made me think, and it's an interesting thought. It's very, very, and I'm not going to disagree with it, but I fully can't embrace that.
Well, the Holocaust and slavery were two of the biggest things in the history of the world.
See, but okay, and again, I guess it was Joey that posted that.
Right.
I don't know if he was just talking about slavery or he was talking about now, like, you know, with the police brutality and the things that we've endured in America as a culture. Is it a modern day Holocaust? So that's how I interpret it. And again, it was a good question. It was really good.
It was a good question. Yeah, man. I you know, I don't want to turn this into like a political type thing, because I don't really like talking politics when we should be talking about sports and vice versa.
Well, I think the truth is I'm not as educated on it.
Same here.
You know what I mean?
That's when we have a round table, and you get the people who are specialists in those areas, and you just back up, you moderate, and you let them go at it, because that ain't, nah.
I mean, and that's similar to, the last round table off the record had. You asked me if you wanted to participate, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't participate. Was I was like, you know what? I'm not really as educated on that type of stuff to speak on. I have opinions, and not to say you can't voice your opinions, but sometimes people just want to hear what the experts are saying. So
right.
Feel you there.
So I got a question for you. Do you miss the studio? Because somebody says you need some light in the room. Oh, that.
I always need light in this room. It's bananas, because if I cut the light on too much, it glares the screen. But yeah, I always need more light. So I got to figure it out.
Yeah, you're good right now. You good, but
good.
Do you miss the studio? Do you miss the studio?
I do. Because I'm in the basement because the baby's upstairs, so I don't want her outbursting. Right. During the show. So I'm down in the dungeon. People are like, "Oh, you need light."
Hey, man. So real quick, I wanna it's almost time to get up out of here, but my wife's birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday to Janika.
Later, Janika.
I'm Margaret. Today's her birthday, so happy birthday to her. Any more birthdays? Who else's birthday we missed?
I just want to give myself a shout out for beating you in the competition. Just give myself a shout out.
Hey, that fight was so fixed. It was crazy, man.
Fixed.
Huh?
Fixed.
It was fixed. Yeah, it was fixed. It was look when it started. I was like, everybody was like, "Yo, I want Scotty." I was like, "That." I'm hearing people. Man, it's cool though.
I mean, it fixed.
I don't mind. Listen, I can take
the butt whipping like a man.
I also can take
that butt whipping like a man.
Huh?
I said, take that butt whipping like a man. It wasn't fixed. You didn't get
it was a good battle. It was a good battle. It was.
It's got that butt whip.
Whoa! No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. It wasn't no butt whoop, really. You literally won on the very last vote.
It was a couple of shaky things that I thought probably should.
What are you talking about? As far as you said a couple shaky things, but you just said you can't complain about the voting. I mean the judging because
ultimately everybody remembers the W. Nobody's going to remember the round.
We giving the people
that I should have just demolished. Or just
I definitely played better music. For instance, I
definitely played better music.
Huh?
You ain't win. So you couldn't play better music.
No. So I will tell people to do this. Go check out Victor Oladipo's last couple albums. They're very good.
God.
No. I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling them that the two albums, the last two that he came out with, I don't know if they're EPs or albums. I don't even know what the difference is anymore, but they're very good. I'm just saying because he's one of the few athletes that puts out good music.
Marvin Bagley put out good music. I think when Shaq was rapping, he put out good music. I mean, it's a couple of athletes, but that wasn't what I was going for. I was going for what everybody knew. And everybody knows must be the money.
So you're saying that the judges don't listen to the music? Is that what you're saying? They just go with what they know?
No, I'm just saying that it's catchy, it's popular, and it was some strategy in it.
Sucks. But
more people know that song than I mean. A lot of people don't even know Victor Oladipo even sings,
and that shouldn't even matter. You know what you sound like? You sound like a cop that pulls over somebody and he lets them go just because they're an athlete. It shouldn't matter. If they just because don't pull them over because they black. I ain't even gonna get into that stuff, but whatever, man.
It was an L. I played better music.
You definitely played better.
W. Played better music.
You didn't.
W. Got creative. The judges.
I was more creative.
You weren't that creative.
Scott, listen, you played from one area. I played from everywhere.
What do you mean I played from one area?
Scott, all you did was play up north music.
I played some South music.
You played one South song.
I played about 3 or 4 South songs.
Scott, you played.
Rick Ross he's from the South, right?
Who?
Rick Ross. He's from the South, right? P.D. Pablo is from the South, right?
And you lost both of those rounds. No, you won P.D. Pablo round, which
Waka Flocka, he's from the South, right?
I played Waka. You didn't play Waka. I played Waka Flocka.
No Hands is Waka Flocka.
All right, I played Waka Flocka too.
Yeah, so
I played it before you.
I played
way more side. I played Scarface. You didn't. I played T.I. You didn't.
I don't do that. Because
I'm just saying. I played West Coast.
I could play the South and I could play West Coast music too.
So you know what?
I could very easily do that too. Yeah, easy.
No, you can't. We could do we're gonna do a whole region. And again, when I can post listen, people, go to my Facebook page and y'all have the music right there. Y'all have the music, y'all can be the judges yourselves. So y'all can go to my Facebook page and you can go, and we did 15 songs. You can go through the 15 songs and you can vote yourself. So that's on my personal Facebook page. That'll be good. Yeah, let the people choose. I mean, again, yes, you won. Scott won, and that's fine. Who cares? But but you can go to my Facebook page and you can look at the battle and you can judge for yourself. And then And
a lot of people, the feedback that I got was
that you lost. Oh
no,
my
God. No, the feedback that I got seriously, the feedback that I got was I should have won a lot earlier. It wasn't it wasn't that close.
That's false. I didn't.
No, everybody I talked to said that.
Look at the people that were in that we had. We had about how many people we had in there? It was about 17. I mean, not 17. It was about like 12 people in there, and the people that was on that weren't judges, even though round one.
One person. One person didn't take.
That's a lie, Scott. That is a lie.
One person didn't take that.
So I'm gonna tell y'all something, people. This is what Scott does. He will lie. He will lie to get his point across. Get
the hell out of here. No, I'm serious.
He said, you know, if it's against me, I'm good. If it's against me, and Ant's right, I won't pick it because I don't want Ant to be right. Were those your words? And with that smile, so we know that Scott, and you know, I'm gonna keep it PG. That's my brother.
You can't deny it. And people told me, they was like, yo, you really got that off. I'm serious, man.
God, I'm serious. Hey, Scott, we got to go, man.
I'm serious. People was like, yo, you really pulled it off.
Off the record on IG, off the record show, off the record on Facebook.
I'm just happy that I pulled it out.
On Twitter, the OTR show. What else we got? YouTube, the personal YouTube link. It's youtube.com/seed/off the record show. What?
So I'll tell you what. If you can get past Marcus, I may give you a rematch. I'll think about it.
Yo,
I mean, really, I want to battle.
Turn your house right now. Turn your lights on.
I want to.
Man, look.
I want to battle competition, man. I'm
about to just cut your mic off.
I want to battle legitimate competitors. So I may look at Shantina.
I gotta go, man. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. Scott, I don't know if he been drinking or whatever. That's a nice hat, by the way, too. That's a nice hat.
There's no drink. It was a win. You cannot escape it. It was a win. You won. You could try to justify it. You could say
I'm not justifying anything. But again, people, go to Anthony Adebayo's Facebook page. And you can see the battle yourself. It's up there. And if you want me to send the unedited, raw, uncut version of the battle, then all you gotta do is hit me up, and I will send you all 3 hours of the battle.
Sad day, man. See how people.
How's it a sad day? You won. It was a good day. It was a celebration. Hey, all our friends, all our family, and
you see how people do you?
I gave you a prize.
They got to throw dirt on your victory when they lose.
How? I said, Scotty, you won. I even said congrats. I said it was a good battle. It came down to the very last vote. That's how you know what? Yo, be a gracious winner.
You said something to me the other day, and I caught it. It was something slick. He was like, "Yeah, man, you don't want to have your winning question." And I thought about it. I was like,
"I said that."
Yeah, you was like, yeah, you just want to flat out win. You don't want to have it question. And I was like, what is he talking about? I was like, I was like, in question? There's no question in my mind.
Yo, Scott, we gotta go.
All right, man. I'll catch up.
Oh my gosh! Yo, I can't stand this dude, yo. Hey, Scott, we're gonna battle again, man. Hey, you know what we should do?
Get a chip under your belt.
You should go.
Get a chip or two under your belt.
I got flight 4. Get out of here. And you were witnesses to him. And you were
back at the bottom.
I'm not back. I'll never be at the bottom.
You're back at the bottom.
And, and with all that, listen. And with all that being said, you'll never play the music on Off the Record. But all right, man. Hey, this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's gotta be peace.
Sure.